1998 daran gemacht, ein System zu entwickeln, damit Menschen mit Behinderung wieder mobil sein können. Und genau das haben wir bis heute bei Paravan rund 17.000 Menschen ermöglicht. Vom Spezialrollstuhl bis PKW, vom Oldtimer bis zum Rennauto. Von über 1000 Industrieobjekten bis hin zu Booten. Nichts ist unmöglich. Sicher, mehrfach redundant und die Grundlage auf dem Weg zum autonomen Fahren und dafür bereits heute preisgekrönt. Denn Grenzen gibt es nur im Kopf. Zeit, diese zu brechen. Das ist Paravan.
Ich bin Wälder und mag die Wäldercard, weil sie meine Heimat zum Erlebnis macht.
Weil ich damit meine Heimat neu entdecken kann.
Weil sie vielfältige Angebote beinhaltet.
Weil ich damit kostenlos Veranstaltungen besuchen kann.
Weil ich die zellige Erlebnisse mag.
Weil ich damit in die Fandorena kann.
Weil ich meine Heimat liebe.
Ich bin Wälderin und habe die Wäldercard, weil ich gern daheim Urlaub mache.
Du spielst für Fankurven und Zielgeraden, für Traumpässe und Titelträume. Du spielst für Millionen und für dich. Mehr zur Förderung auf lotto-bw.de.
Absurd schnell Geld aufs Bankkonto senden. Mit Vero in unter 10 Sekunden. Jetzt Vero in der App Sparkasse aktivieren.
Welcome back to the Slalom World Cup Para Alpine race here in Feldberg. I'm Jen Kehoe and I'll be your commentator for this second run. Fine day here in Feldberg. We had a successful first run for the majority of competitors. A few DNFs, but not too many out of the entire field across both the men and women's competitions. The race piste preparation team have done a fantastic job in getting this course ready for the races on the Alpine piste. It's a very steep, quite challenging hill, particularly for those later athletes, the development athletes coming into this World Cup for the first time, of which there are a few. There we have our race director, the FIS race director, Anja Skutjel, and the other race officials, making sure that we have a safe and fair competition today. You can you'll just be able to hear the forerunners going down in the background, sound of them hitting the gates as they go past, testing the course for safety. And we've just seen the start order for the first correction. That we can see the results from the first run for currently the women's standing competition. In the women's sitting, Annalena Forster remains dominant after her 3 golds from this time last year. And in the men's competition, for the visually impaired, we've got the Aigner dominance from Johannes. Alexei Bugayev from Russia is back on the circuit and continuing his winning streak from previous years. But close competition in the men's standing, and we have French leading the pack in the men's sitting, with Jesper Pedersen close behind in second. All to play for in this second run. The course setter is from Poland. And should be a good course to follow this morning's. Pretty challenging, but good course from the German Justus Wolf. So we have Team USA listening to the course reports and doing their final preparation before they start. That'll be would have been Margaret and Spencer Gustafsson, their first season, our first World Cup start. Feldberg actually hosted the first German ski championships way back in 1900, making it one of the earliest major competitive skiing sites in the country. Bit of history for you there, whilst we wait to get this second run underway. Georgia Gnu, guided by Ethan Jackson in the Aussie colours with a pink bib. A reminder, Georgia is AS2 classification and she finished 5th in St. Moritz. Let's see what she does for the second run. Straight into a hairpin after the first couple of gates, just to keep you on your toes. And safely over that roller onto the middle pitch. Looking a little tentative through this section. The team have got good connection though. Ethan checking back, making sure that Georgia's with him. Just keeping that flow, keeping the rhythm to help the visually impaired athlete stay connected and give them confidence getting down these tricky sections. It's a safe run by Georgia, and she is down in a time of 2 minutes, a combined time of 2 minutes 08. She seems pretty happy with that. For some of these visually impaired athletes, knowing where the gate is a bit of guesswork, and you saw on the screen very impressive cross blocking by Georgia there. Sometimes it's a case of hope for the best and anticipate where those gates are, as opposed to actually being able to see where they are. Maya Fugenschuh and Joanna Lena Holtzmann from Germany are out second in this second run. They'll be looking to improve on their fourth place position in St. Moritz. Can they do it? They've got a green light on the clock at the first split. 2 seconds 58 ahead at this point. Some dynamic skiing through those that steep section, keeping the speed on. Now they just need to accelerate through this slightly flatter section before hitting the final steep. They've used that well, increasing their lead to 3.16. Little check back by Johanna there to make sure that Maya's still with her, and they're good speed checks to get her over the line safely. Into first position, leading the women's visually impaired competition at this point. Next up, we have Margaret and Spencer Gustafsson from USA. There's 4 classifications, so in real terms need to ski faster than the AS1 to 3 classification in order to get the top spot. She's got the green light. This is looking good, a little wide through that delay gate, but holding on to the speed nicely. Can she use it through this slightly flatter section? Yes, she can. Increasing the lead, 8.46 ahead at this point. Great work by Team Gustafsson from USA. Really working hard right through to the finish there. 11.44 ahead into the top spot. Oh, I'm sorry. That was, in fact, Sarah Choi. It looks like got the running order wrong. So Sarah Choi goes into first position. Great run by Sarah Choi and her guide Eunmi Eo from Korea. Next up we have the Gustafssons. From Team USA. They've got the green light at the first split and are looking solid through this midsection. Her guide was getting away from her a little bit in the first run, but seems to have kept that gap a little bit more consistent in this second run. Last few gates, and can she hold on to that lead? Yes, she can. Into first position, 3.61 ahead of Sarah Choi. Veronica and Elizabeth Eigner starting their second run in this women's visually impaired competition. They've had 31 World Cup slalom starts with 29 podiums and 27 wins. Can they add to that impressive tally today? They've got the green light, so they're on the right track. They can keep this up and get down to the finish in one piece. And as a team, then things are looking hopeful. And they've increased their lead at the second split. They did a really good job through that midsection. 8:23. Little heavy on the skis there over the roll. But I don't think it'll make too much difference to the overall time or the overall position. No, increase the lead into first place, 9:08, ahead of Margaret and Spencer Gustafsson and Sarah Choi, and Unmi Io in third. Great run by Team Eigner. Yeah, they look happy with that. And the final competitor in this women's visually impaired competition is Alina Stari and her guide Stefan Winter, both from Austria in the AS2 classification. They didn't finish the race in St. Moritz, so we'll be looking to put their mark on the board in this race, and that is a strong start from the pair. 2.72 through the top section. A little mistake there, getting a bit late and low coming through that middle steep. Can she get the acceleration through the flat section and hold that advantage? Yes. 3.10 through the second split, and onto the final pitch now. This is dynamic and fast from the Austrian pair. 11 World Cup starts, 10 podiums and 4 wins. So again, an impressive tally for this young racer. Fantastic work, taking the top spot, provisional top spot in this slalom, the Feldberg Women's Visually Impaired Slalom competition.
Hoffentlich in Cortina auch gut laufen für die beiden. Da sind wir gespannt auf spannende Wettkämpfe.
An emotional time, getting to the bottom of a run and realizing you've won. Fantastic. Final results there. Austria 1-2, USA taking the third spot on the podium. And that's a great run for the result for the newcomers, the Margaret and Spencer Gustafsson. So we are missing a few of the familiar faces from the women's visually impaired competition. Chiara Mazzel and Fabrizio Casal from Italy, who won in St. Moritz. Alexandra Rexova and Sophie Spolak from Slovakia, who came second, are not here today. And Menna Fitzpatrick and Katie Guest are also missing from these early races due to injury. So it'll be interesting to see as we get closer to the Paralympics how the competition shapes up. There we have our podium for the women's visually impaired competition here in Feldberg. It's possible that some of these athletes needed that result to qualify for the Paralympics.
Congratulations on today's win. In St. Moritz, you were in the same position, in the leading position, but unfortunately you didn't finish. What was different today?
Nothing much different. I think a little bit of my mental strength was better than in St. Moritz, and we had a pretty worse mistake there. But I'm pretty happy. This is my personal results of win in one season, so I'm very happy and excited.
Dieselbe Frage auf Deutsch. Was war unterschiedlich heute als in St. Moritz?
In St. Moritz ist meinem Guiden Stefan leider der Ski aufgegangen bei einer ziemlichen Wellen im ersten Durchgang. Und heute, glaube ich, war ich mental sehr stark. Wir haben nochmal besser zusammengefunden, haben ein paar gute Trainings gehabt. Ich bin sehr zufrieden und das ist mein persönlicher Siegesrekord bis jetzt.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up we have the second run of the women's standing competition. Opening this second run for the standing athletes, we have Florence Carrier from Canada, LW4. Nice solid start from the Canadian, safely through the top section. Some technical gates, technical set there just to keep things interesting, works that delay to bring some speed onto the flatter section before hitting the final pitch. Just a little sluggish coming out of some of those turns, which won't affect her position for now, as she's the first one down, but might just see, is likely to see her drift down the rankings slightly. Good solid run from the Canadian, safely down, and will guarantee some points on the board. Next up, for Team USA, we have Ali Johnson, finishing 8th after the first run. She was 11th in St. Moritz. A little wide around some of those gates, just scrubbing off the speed, and you can see from the first split, she's slightly behind, getting caught up in some of the loose snow. It's been pushed off the course, the racetrack. It's likely to have cost her coming in through this second split. not significantly. She's held that speed really well and has actually gained 0.02 on Carrier from Canada. Final position. Oh, she's so close. That's ski racing into second position by 0.06 of a second. Great run by Ali Johnson, hanging on in there by the skin of her teeth, but really working those turns hard. Great to see smiling athletes coming down at the end of a run. Up next, we have Maria Martin Granzio Ferrero from Spain, LW2 classification. Skiing with one ski and two outriggers, also known as three trackers. Sometimes can be an advantage in slalom, having only one ski, as some might say it's only one tip to catch up around the gates. I'm not sure everyone would agree with that. I certainly would find it pretty tricky to do this on one leg. That's some great skiing by Martin Granzio Ferrero. Opening up the lead to 4.90 at the second split into the final few gates, and that is a great run by the Spanish athlete. Taking the top spot and giving everything to that run. Really great skiing. Audrey Crowley for Team USA is in the gate and safely away through the first couple of turns. Good dynamic skiing through those opening turns. And it shows on the clock 1.06 ahead of the Spanish athlete, Martin Granzio Ferrero. Let's see what she can do with it through this midsection onto the flat. Need to hold that speed. And she has not skied that second section, that second split time quite as quickly. She lost time. Now 0.68 in the red. Needs to find second gear, next gear for these last few turns to try and pull that back. And she does it into first position. 0.63 ahead. Fantastic skiing by Audrey Crowley to take the top spot provisionally in this second run. Coaches and athletes, they're waiting. Lucia Smitisco for Croatia up next. She was 5th in the first run and has come out attacking. Oh, a little bit wild coming over on from the flat over the roller into the steep section, but holds it, gets right back into the rhythm. This is an aggressive run from the young Croatian. 6th place in St. Moritz, and she's opened up the lead further through that second split time, 1.96. Great skiing from Lucia into first position. Really attacked that run and it paid off. Will that be good enough for a podium position in this run? There's some incredible athletes to come, and the competition will be fierce. So let's see. We've got Michaela Goslin from Canada up next. She was 4th after the first run. Skiing a nice safe line and holding on to a lead by 0.16 through the first split. This is a good, consistent run, holding a nice line, and she's increased the lead. That was a great section. 0.55 on the clock. Looking solid, confident, holding on to those turns. Can she hold on to it through the last few to take the top spot? Yes, she can. 0.82 ahead into first position.
Hat ihren Platz behaupten können. Sehr gut. So, die letzten 3.
Andrea Rothfuss up for her run next. 3rd place after the first run. She's attacking this top section like she means to win it. Can she do it? She's 1.91 in the green after the first split. Really going for this. You can see her just working those edges. A little bit caught up at the end of the turn, which might cost her the next split. Let's see what the time says. Nope, she has gone ahead. Very hard to judge sometimes. But that's great work by the very experienced skier. Andrea's had 65 World Cup slalom starts, 37 podiums and 5 wins in her extensive career, and she takes the top spot, 2.76 ahead. Fantastic. Andrea's first race was in pit style in 2008. And her first World Cup start was in 2009, so she has a lot of experience and is a regular on the podium. Good to see her out there today, smiling. There we have the leader after the first run. Up next, we have Russian athlete Varvara Voronchikina. She's had 11 World Cup slalom starts, 7 podiums and 2 wins, competing in both Pyeongchang and Beijing in 2018 and 2022. Some attacking, fast skiing by the Russian athlete here. Little mistake through that delay gate, but holds onto it and gets back into the rhythm. 1.92 ahead at the second split, so increasing that green light. You can see that angle, how steep the final pitch is, and how tough it is for the athletes coming down. Increased the lead. That was a great run by the Russian athlete into first position ahead of Andrea Rothfuss of Germany.
Ihren zweiten Platz derzeit. Er ist ja nicht mehr zu nehmen.
And to our final competitor of the women's standing competition in Feldberg for this first slalom race, Anna-Marie Ryder from Germany. 45 World Cup slalom starts, 37 podiums and 6 wins. Can she add to that tally? She's 0.47 ahead at the first split. Getting a little twisted around some of those gates. But holding on, is that going to affect our time? Hard to judge at this point. Safely around the delay and carrying her speed. A little bit of a scrub off around that gate. She's 0.22 into the red. Needs to change it up a gear on this final steep section. Can she do it? Wojcicki had a very strong final section. She's into second place. Anna-Marie Ryder, 1.16 behind the Russian athlete. A good run, but not quite fast enough to hold on to that top spot. Great skiing from the women standing and good competition. Vara Wojcicki in first, Anna-Maria Ryder in second, and Andrea Rothfuss in third. Germany 2-3. Great results for the German team on their home hill.
Barbara, congratulations on your first World Cup win of the season. It was the 4th podium in 4 races on the World Cup. Did you expect such a strong comeback on the World Cup?
Sure, I'm really glad to be back. And today was good conditions, I like it. I'm here, it's first time, but today was really good, and I want to say thank you for prepare.
You can repeat in Russian now.
Я бы хотела поблагодарить всех за сегодняшние условия. Действительно, очень хорошая организация, подготовка. Я очень рада вернуться снова на международную арену. Немного сложно для нас, но мы готовы работать, и я надеюсь, что дальше будет лучше.
Congratulations.
And now we have the final stint of the women's competition. The sitting athletes First out the gate, Maiju Larilla from Finland. Just a little tricky start for her, coming out straight into a combination gate into a hairpin and getting a bit caught up in some of the softer, loose snow around that gate. She's also finding a few of the little ruts starting to form after the first two categories have gone down, I should say. But now finding a much smoother rhythm through this middle section. Time of 2 minutes 1 on the clock for the moment. Lovely few turns through that, down to the finish and safely home. Time of 2 minutes 22 seconds on the board. A very challenging hill for these development athletes, as we've said.
Ready? Go.
She's followed by her teammate, Mette Kirivanta, finishing third in the first run. Let's see what she can do in this second run. She's got an advantage of 19.13 seconds on her teammate at the first split, and is making good line around these turns. A little bit wide on the delay, but carried that speed through nicely and has increased her lead on her teammate. Netta coming into the final turns of this run, looking good, and she will finish on the podium in this women's sitting competition, going into first place provisionally. 2 more athletes to go. Brilliant, as a happy athlete at the bottom there. Audrey Pascual Seco in the gate now from Spain. Second after the first run. And chasing Annalena Forster down, who holds the top spot for the moment after the first run. Lovely skiing through that combination. She's got a good advantage on the finish leader. Really working those edges from side to side. You can see the angle that she's getting on those steep sections, just flicking the sit ski from side to side, really making it pop to get the acceleration through the exit of the turn. 12.67 second lead on Mette Kirivanta, and puts her in the top spot. Will that be enough to hold on to it though? Annalena Forster comes out the gate next for her second run. There she is. This will be her 61st World Cup slalom start, with 53 podiums and 39 wins in her career. She started FIS racing in 2009 with her first World Cup start in 2013. A little mistake there through that gate coming onto the flat section, but gets back on top of it. Is still in the lead at the first split. 2.12 ahead for now. Doesn't look like she's found her rhythm quite yet. Let's see what the time says in this second split. She's certainly motoring. Yep, she's held on to the gap, slightly increased it. Holding on nicely. Some wild turns coming onto that steep section. Just a few more to hold on to. Punches across the line and into first position. A little bit slower on that second section, but it doesn't matter. She's into the top spot. German coaches are happy. She's held on to her winning streak, adding to the 3 golds that she got this time last year in the same races. Fantastic result for Annalena Forster of Germany. Annalena Forster in first, Audrey Pascal Seco in second for Spain, and Netta Kirievanta in third, rounding out the podium nicely. Congratulations to all the women this morning. Great racing on a challenging hill, and some really exciting performances ahead of the Paralympic Games in a few months' time. Promises to be an excellent competition.
Annalena, congratulations on this home victory. How important was it to win at home?
Oh, very important. Yeah, it's an honor to race here, and it's so cool. And yeah, I wasn't so happy with my slalom performance in December, so yeah, I'm happy with today. That's good.
You risked it all today, right? Because just behind you, it's pushing very hard.
Oh yes, yeah. I know that I have to push me, and yeah. Today it was okay, I think, yeah.
Dieselbe Frage auf Deutsch. Wie wichtig war es heute in diesem Heimrennen zu gewinnen?
Ja, sehr wichtig, doch. Also das ist einfach so schön, hier Rennen zu haben und dann performen zu können, ist natürlich mega, und deswegen bin ich sehr happy heute, ja.
Gratulation.
Danke.
Breathing in.
I don't even know how to write that, but I will find a way.
How do you spell it?
Moving to the men's visually impaired competition, second run. Seeing the start order. And out the gate first. We have Alexander Rowan, guided by Jeremias Wilke from Germany. AS4 classification. They were 5th after the first run, looking to improve on that position if they can. Some nice skiing. The pair are keeping in touch, as in the distance between the two is good to allow the visually impaired athlete to follow the guide's track and ski as fast as he or she can. It's good guiding by Jeremiah Svidke. And Alexander Brown is down in 1 minute 49 seconds. Will that hold up against his competitors? We shall see. Next out the gate from Korea we have Mingyu Hwang and Yun-Yong Kim in the AS3, 4th after the first run. And this is the cracking run from the Koreans, a lead of 2.01 at the first split, really attacking hard, getting right over the skis and close to the gates. You can just see the Hwang is carrying his speed. Oh, got a little bit caught up. I think he made that gate, but he's lost his rhythm through that midsection. Will that cost him? In the end, no, it cost him a little bit of time, but it hasn't cost him overall position into first place, 2 seconds ahead of the German team. A happy team there at the end of that run, second run for the men's visually impaired competition. Now back to the start for the Austrian pair of Michael Schnagel and Lily Sammer. AS2 classification. A reminder that they did not finish their run, the first run in St. Moritz, so this pair will be looking to get some runs. And oh, that was wild coming out of the off the flat. Michael hung on and is back in the game on the racing line. Lily working hard to create a solid track and help Michael down and guide Michael down. All guides and athlete pairs have slightly different styles of communication, so for slalom in particular it's likely to be short, sharp, and keeping it to the point. That was a great run, 7.79 in the green, putting the Austrian pair in the top spot, and barring any disqualifications should give them a podium position. They look very pleased with that run. So Johannes Eigner in the red leader bib after winning the St. Moritz slalom. Next up we have Michael Golas and Kasper Walas from Poland. AS3 classification. Another team that DNF'd in St. Moritz and looking to get their first points on the board in this 2026 winter season. Michael has had 20 slalom starts in his career, 9 podiums with 1 win. Will he add to that tally today? Let's see how it goes out. He's 1.89 in the green at the second split. Some aggressive skiing, a little bit wild, flailing around, losing him a bit of time, but not much. And he's increased his lead into first position. Michael Golas and Kasper Wallas taking the top spot from the Austrian pair of Schnagel and Sammer.
Ja, und jetzt noch als letztes am Start Johannes Aigner mit seinem Guide Nico Haberl. Bringt 1 Sekunde 04 Vorsprung.
And closing this men's visually impaired competition is Johannes Aigner and Nico Haberl. AS2 classification and leaders of the slalom competition after winning in St. Moritz. Great start by this pair, really dynamic, really pushing. They know they've got to work hard, so it was a good run from the Polish pair. 0.59 ahead at the first split and looking strong. And they have increased their lead to 1.31 through the middle section. Just a few more turns to go now, and this is looking a really strong run from the Austrian leaders. 2:29 into the top spot. Brilliant competition.
Einmal Österreich, einmal Polen.
So Johannes Aigner in the top spot, Golas in second and Schnagel in third.
Bereit für das Siegerfoto. Nochmal Glückwunsch an die 3 Platzierten auf dem ersten Platz. Der Johannes Aigner mit seinem Guide Nico Haberl, auf dem zweiten Platz Michael Golas und Kasper Wallas aus Polen. Und dritten Platz Michael Schanagel mit seiner Guidin Lilly Sammer. Bravo, Glückwunsch. Und Applaus.
Johannes and Nico, in 2026, it's victory number 5 in 5 races for you. What is the secret?
It's amazing. It's a wonderful season, and I think, it's a lot of training, and then you get better, and yeah.
How challenging is it to switch from speed discipline to slalom today?
Yeah, it's really difficult because it's a smaller turn and you need more movement, and it's really important that you are very fast in your knees and in your legs. And
yeah, today it was a little bit difficult. The course was not easy, but we have made this good, and yeah, we are happy, and we will see the next days.
Dieselbe Frage auf Deutsch. Wien Nummer 5 in 5 Rennen. Was ist das Geheimnis?
Das Geheimnis, ja, ich würde sagen, wie der Nico vorher schon gesagt hat, viel Training. Ganz genau kann ich es auch nicht beantworten, muss ich ehrlicherweise zugeben. Man kann schon sagen, ich glaube, wir sind gute Allrounder, also auch in jeder Disziplin gut angestimmt. Da muss ich auch sagen, dass unser Trainer macht eine gute Arbeit da, dass wir da in die Disziplinen immer vorbereitet sind. Wir haben gestern wieder Training gehabt. Von dem her, das hat auch nochmal sehr viel bewirkt, muss man sagen. Und ja, heute der Lauf war zwar nicht einfach, aber man kann eigentlich sehr zufrieden sein, so wie wir das gemeistert haben. Sicher, hier und da gibt es noch was zum Arbeiten, aber im Großen und Ganzen kann man sehr zufrieden sein.
Gratulation.
Danke.
Moving on to the men's standing competition. Second run. The start list is on your screens now, and Alexei Bugayev of Russia put the fastest time down, with Aaron Lindstrom from Sweden and Adam Hall of New Zealand in second and third. A close competition. All to play for in the men's standing. So first on course in this second run is Yamato Aoki from Japan, LW3. His first race in Paralympic skiing was, or this events was 2021 in Vezina. A little bit caught up through that combination towards the end, just not quite getting the line right, not finding the rhythm. So, but gets down in a time of 2 minutes 08. Has a time to count. Next up, here, also from Japan, Hori Takahashi, 16th after the first run. His first World Cup start was in 2017 in Hakuba in Japan, in giant slalom. And he's had 29 slalom slalom starts so far in his career. This is a good run from the Japanese athlete, and he has a lead of 10.37 seconds on his teammate after the second split, and increases that, going into the top spot provisionally 12 seconds ahead. Andrew Haringi from Team USA, 15th after the first run. Oh, a little incident at that first gate. Looked like it could have been a straddle, but I think he just made it round. I have to wait for the protocol at the end of the race to see if there are any queries on that. But for now, he's carrying on, which is the right thing to do. If you think you skied it correctly. 0.29 in the red at this point. Just losing a bit of pressure over that downhill ski on some of the turns, meaning Andrew's skidding out a little bit on those gates, but he's holding the line nicely through the flatter section. And and very unfortunately, there's just that outside pressure meant his skis skidded away from him in the final turns, and he will get a DNF in this second run of the men's standing. That will not be what he was hoping for.
Next Läufer aus den. Let's go.
Next up, also for Team USA, Tyler McKenzie. 14th after run 1. And a strong start for this up-and-coming athlete. Another one with a DNF in St. Moritz, so hoping to finish this and get some points in. You can hear the grunts and groans as he's hanging on to those turns. Looks like the snow is perhaps not as grippy as it was in the first run. Some of the athletes are sliding out a little bit through the bottom of the turn, just making those turns a little bit tricky, but Tyler McKenzie is down safely and into first position, 3.61 ahead. Great recovery move on that turn after he got caught up on the gate, exiting the hairpin. We've got a suite of a hat trick of Team USA with Patrick Halgren. Who finished 13th after the first run. LW2. So 1 ski and 2 outriggers. And he's got the green light at the first interval. And just overcooks that turn and misses the gate. Signals perhaps not thinking, just a bit too aggressive. Ski goes over the red gate instead of around it. I'll be disappointed with that. Spencer Wood for our 4th Team USA athlete in this second run. 12th after the first run. With 2 of his teammates out, he'll be looking to get a result. And in those situations, you just have to put it out of your mind if your competitors have a difficult run ahead of you. Focus on your run. Keep your head in the game. And stick to your plan. So green light, 1.86 ahead. Nicely around the delay gate onto the flatter section. Let's see what the clock says. 2.71. He's increased his lead. Can he hold on through the final turns that have caught up a few people in this second run? Yes, he can. And he increases his lead into the top spot ahead of his teammate Tyler McKenzie. 3.7 ahead. Team America. Coaches there celebrating. That's excellent.
Wechselstrom, Gleichstrom, Wechselstrom, Gleichstrom.
Jordan Brazin chatting with some of the Sid skiers ahead of his run coming up shortly. But now back to the second run. We've got Roger Puig-Davy from Andorra, 11th after the first run. Strong push out the gate into these opening turns. Just a little on the back, in the back seat through as he's coming onto the flat. Can he get back in control, back over those skis? Still struggling a little bit. There's a few lumps and bumps and it's kicking him back, making some of those turns pretty difficult. He's doing a great job of holding on, and the clock tells a fantastic story. He's increased his lead. So holding on, he might be, but it seems to be working. Spoke too soon. That straddled the same gate, I think, that we saw one of the previous athletes go out. Yeah, clear straddle on that red gate, and that is a DNF for Puig-Davy. Swiss athlete Emeric Sierro in the gate. 10th after run 1. Some risky first turns there. You can see how close he is to, on a couple of those turns, to clipping those tips and straddling. Combination possibly of the snow conditions, the aggressive skiing, and the course set being quite offset. The athletes having to work very hard and spin the skis back across the slope to get around those gates. Green light through first section, but just tipped into the red. 0.14 behind through the second speed gun, time gun, I should say. And Sierro comes across the line on one ski, a little off balance, but he's pulled it back and is into the leader spot with 1.51 seconds clear. Johan Jean Demange from France, pushing out the gate now, a month after the first run. Holds on to the lead by 0.42 of a second, and really having to work hard to hold on to the line. So the track gets a little bit rutted for some of the later men's male runners, and particularly on one ski that can make things very tricky. Johan has found his flow so far. is holding on to that green line, 0.28. Can he keep it right through to the finish? Yes, he can. Increases it slightly, 0.51 to take the top spot.
Du könntest jetzt mit der Mari nochmal Disco-Fox tanzen hier oben.
Christoph Glutzner psyching himself up before his second run, and he's away 8th after the first run, navigating that hairpin safely. Aggressive start from the German. This is great to see. Lovely flow on the aerial angle and working that ski beautifully through the steep midsection. Looking to carry that speed through the flat, and he does. 1.85 on the clock at the second split. This is a very aggressive, looks very fast through this bottom section. 2.17 in the green, putting him into the leader position with 7 athletes left to run.
Werden wir jetzt gleich sehen. Direkt nach ihm.
Thomas Groscher from Austria, LW2. Another DNF from St. Moritz. And let's see if he can open his point score for this season. Aggressive start through those first gates. Just see, not quite finding the same flow as Christoph Glutzner through those turns. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll be slower. 0.22 in the green first split, and he's increased his lead. Yep. 0.75 ahead through the second split. Really going for it, putting everything into every turn. Jumps into the leader's position with a lead of 0.69. Jesse Keefe on course now from the USA. Sixth after the first run. Young athlete will be hoping to improve on his 8th place in St. Moritz. As that midsection really gives the opportunity for the athletes to get some rhythm up before they reach the final pitch with some interesting offsets. Jesse Keefe just missing out on the top spot by 0.65 behind. Good skiing, but not quite enough in the through some of those turns. Just a few mistakes. You can see scrubbing off the speed through the bottom section of some of those turns. But into second place. Up next we have Jordan Boisin from France. Another one looking to open his points card for the 26 season. Oh, and that was a big mistake, and it's cost him. Yeah, very late coming over that roll, just nearly missed the gate, and he's skied into the skied backwards into the nets, through the nets. In fact, hopefully he's okay. That was a tricky turn. Just looked like he came at it a bit too straight and had too much speed coming onto the steep section. So there'll be a slight pause while they check that Jordan is okay and extract him from the nets. Gives us an opportunity to look at the scoreboard so far in this men's standing competition. Austria on top, Thomas Groscher, with Jesse Keefe from representing USA in the second spot, and Christoph Glötzner in third. It's always a great atmosphere at the Paralympic World Cup, Para-Alpine, I should say, World Cup races. This seems particularly good. There's Jordan, picked himself up, seems okay. No visible injuries, it would seem, which is good news. So hopefully we'll get this race up and running again, the second run up and running again. In the meantime, you can enjoy the music from the finish area and the good vibes from the spectators on the ground. Adam Hall, waiting to go, third to last, hoping to retain a podium spot and improve on his third position after the first run. Adam will be away for the entire season now, right the way through to the Paralympic Games, and won't mind me saying that he's left his lovely wife Felicia and their 7-year-old daughter at home whilst he is on this World Cup tour and Paralympic competition year. Jordan Boisin skiing down there with a smile on his face. Good to see no injuries after that little crash there. There's so much pressure in a Paralympic year that people are pushing really hard, and you do quite often see injuries creeping in at this stage. One of the notable absences from the French team on the visually impaired competition is Hyacinth de la Place, who is recovering from injury after a fall in Saalbach. And the competition is back underway. We've got Robin Kusch from Switzerland, who was in 4th position after the first run. Let's see what he can do in this second run. And he is still in. Just, that was he got knocked, but he's managed to recover and get back into it. That will cost him on time. Let's see. Yeah, 0.88 behind now. Can he make up that time through the bottom section? No, he has straddled. Ah, that will be a disappointment for the Swiss athlete. Can see the first big mistake just pushed him wide, and he went the wrong way around the hairpin, but manages to recover it. He does cross the line for both gates, so carries on, and then makes a second mistake at the top of the final pitch with a straddle. He will be bitterly disappointed with that. Aaron Lindstrom awaiting his turn, and before that we have Adam Hall from New Zealand looking to add to his medal tally from his impressive World Cup career. 1.75 ahead at the first split, looking strong. Let's see if Adam can navigate some of those lumps and bumps that have appeared through the course around some of the steeper gates particularly. Looking solid so far, losing a bit of time through that midsection, but holding on to the top spot. Let's see, can he do it? Yes, he holds on to the top position, 1.08 ahead, into the lead with 2 competitors to race still. That's a solid run by Hall. Looking really strong through some of those tricky offset gates and navigating the ruts and bumps well. Aaron Lindstrom of Sweden next up. Second position after run 1, and looking to hold on to a podium spot and possibly take the lead. Do enough to put himself in the lead ahead of Alexei Bugayev. Really attacking through that first section, and 1.73 ahead of Hall. Some mistakes creeping in, just getting caught up over his skis, but back in the flow through this mid section and increases his lead over Hall. 3.04 seconds now, the second split. Navigates those offset gates well over the finish, punching 3.70 ahead of Hall. He's guaranteed a podium position, as is Hall. The question is, what colour will it be? And that will be determined by the final runner of this men's standing competition, Alexei Bugayev of Russia.
Schauen wir mal, ob der Alex Bugajew das noch unterbieten kann. Er hat einen Vorsprung von 65 Hundertstel.
Bugayev's on course. Really driving those skis hard. 0.88 ahead at the first split. Oh, big mistake coming onto the steep. Will that cost him? Bugayev able to drive over those ruts. The margin is narrowed to 0.23. Have to keep the gas on through these final turns if he wants to hold on to that first position. A strong run by the Swedish athlete. And has he done it? Yes, into first. 0.48 for Bugayev. 0.48 of a lead for Bugayev, puts him in first position. Aaron Lindstrom into second, and Adam Hall in third, provisionally.
Schön durchfahren, mit Zeit. Schön durchfahren, ja, ja. Danke euch. In third place, Adam Hall. Make some noise.
Adam Hall in third. Aaron Lindstrom and Alexei Bugayev there. Good time to mention Hidden Champions, the new FIS Para Snow Sports podcast featuring Adam that launched recently. You can find it on the FIS website under Para Alpine. Worth a listen.
Alexei, it was a tight fight today to get your first World Cup win of the season. How good is it to be back on the top?
I'm happy, of course, to win and return to World Cup only with fifth race in season and winning. But it's really difficult today. For me, it's not good skiing, I think, but it's first. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to see my guys who I'm fighting before, and I'm happy, thanks.
You can repeat in Russian now.
Я рад вернуться, победить в пятой гонке в этом сезоне по счету, точнее победить уже в пятой гонке. Вот, и рад видеть всех ребят здесь, кем до этого тренировался, соревновался, и я просто счастлив находиться здесь.
Congratulations.
And now for the men's sitting competition in this Feldberg slalom race. have 6 competitors in the second run with 1 DNF not making it through. First up, Leon Genset from Germany. Oh, tricky first few turns for Leon. Just about managed to hold on, but really not looking very comfortable at all. And unfortunately catches an edge and is out of the race. Seems to be down on the floor. Let's hope he's okay. That was, it looked like it was a bit of a hard fall on his shoulder. Just caught his outrigger on the gate coming into the combination. Let's see if we have a race interrupted. No. Leon Genset has cleared from the course, from the racetrack. And we have Ravi Drugan from USA up next. 5th after the first run. In the classification, LW12-2. And another DNF in the sitting. The lumps and bumps just catching him out, making it very difficult for these last races. Lots of tips and tricks given to coaches and given by coaches to athletes for getting you ready and getting you switched on to go out that gate. Josh Hanlon up next from Australia. 4th after the first run, and again just really struggling on some of the bumps and bumps. That same gate, there's obviously a big hole in the course, a rut in the course, making it very tricky for these athletes to get traction, getting thrown around a lot. And with these tight turns, if you get thrown in the air, you've just got no ability to make the turn until you connect with the snow again. So very easy to miss the gates in these rutted conditions. Josh survives and gets down first, down to the bottom in this men's sitting competition. He'll hopefully be pleased with that. Very tricky run, very tricky conditions out there.
Mit dem nächsten Start aus Frankreich. Victor Pierrel. Klasse LB11, also.
Victor Pierrel from France in the gate now. 3rd after the first run and looking to hold on to a podium position. Can he cement it? He will hopefully have had a course report sent back up by his team to tell him where the tricky gates are, where some of those ruts have appeared in the course. And that'll allow him to attack or hold off in some places, just to make sure he gets round those gates. Doing a great job, losing a little bit of that advantage through the midsection after the second split. Very nice line through the hairpin, and really just managing to come inside some of the ruts that were upsetting his previous competitors. Pierrel comes into first with a lead of 0.27. And guarantees himself a podium position in this Slalom World Cup race. It's quite common for the sit skiing athletes to wear full face masks due to the gates hitting them in the face. Jasper Pedersen is not one of those. On course now, looking to hang on to a podium position. So far, navigating those ruts, but little bit of a slide out around that gate. Just got to keep the pressure on the edge through the turns. That was a fantastic segment, 2.13 in the green, increasing that lead significantly. This is looking very nice from the Norwegian athlete. Into a strong lead, 3.17 ahead of the Frenchman. Will that be enough to hold on to the first position in this second run? One more competitor to go, Lou Bradagon from France. Jasper looks very happy with that run, and he should be. Lou Bradagon out the gate and into the opening turns of this, the final competitor to go down this Feldberg slalom race today. Making short work of that top section, but a little mistake coming in to the as he crosses from the flat onto the steep. He's got a 2-second advantage on Pedersen. Can he hold it? This is looking a solid run, but Pedersen had a very strong midsection. 1.21 in the green so far. This is looking good from the Frenchman coming into these final turns. Really nice on the edges and loses some time but holds on to it. 0.94 in the green, taking the top spot ahead of Jasper Pedersen from Norway and Victor Pierrel from France. That shot there showing you why these athletes have full face helmets and goggles. It's not uncommon to get slalom gaze to the face in this sport.
Jesper Petersen auf den zweiten Platz und Victor Virel aus Frankreich auf den dritten Platz. Bravo, congrats!
Very difficult to win.
Unsure if we're going to get an interview from the winners of the men's sitting competition.
Lou,
Yes,
first World
we are.
Cup win of the season. What was the key to get it today?
I don't know. Just keep my ski. And the last week I crash in training, and today is win. It's good. It's good. It's a good fight with Jasper, and it's a good day. Perfect.
You will wear the red bib tomorrow. Is it more pressure for you or not?
I don't know the red bib. I don't know.
For the slalom standing, yes.
Yes?
You will get, yeah.
Okay. I
Normally.
It's my first time, but it's very good. It's good pressure.
Good pressure. La même question en français. Première victoire de la saison. Quelle était la clé pour être rapide aujourd'hui?
Alors la clé, je n'ai pas vraiment de clé, mais j'étais vraiment juste faire mon ski et voilà, la semaine de repos a fait du bien et je tombe la semaine dernière et ça a permis de vraiment juste de faire mon ski, d'appliquer juste mon ski.
Bravo.
Nice final words from the winner of the men's sitting competition there, Lou Bradagon, and relative newcomer to this World Cup circuit. That concludes the racing today at Feldberg in Germany. Thanks for joining us here. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m. Central European Time, 9 a.m. UTC, and for those of you across the water in the USA, 0400. Have a great rest of your day and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.